All right, today I want to talk to you about carry belts, and I'm just going to run through some options that I've used and some things that I think are interesting. Some time ago, I let you know about a holster from High Threat Concealment that I have been using for my Glock 19, and it's similar to the Kydex holsters that you'll find out there. Similar to some of the injection molded holsters that you'll find out there, but it's actually made out of this sheets of Bolatron. I think that's how you pronounce it, but anyway, it's very similar material to Kydex, but has a little bit slicker finish to it. Been really happy with that, and it's run really well. I'm still running this holster with my Glock 19. So kind of being familiar with their holster keyed me in on checking out some of their belts, and I've been using for a similar amount of time this Everyday Carry Belt EDT. I think they call it the EDT Everyday Tactical. I'm not sure it's still on their website, but this is a little different than some of their belts in that it is intentionally designed to be a little thinner. Like it's made to, because you double up on the front, it's made to be a little thinner, and you've got a little bit more thickness on the back with this Velcro in it and the kind of standard Cobra type buckle. I wasn't really sure because of this is a little thinner than, let me show you. Here's a belt that I've had for years from Jones Tactical, and you'll notice that this material here, which is parallel to this material here, this is much stiffer, much thicker. This actually is trending towards the comfort side, and I would just say that this isn't for everybody, but it's useful as long as you know what you're getting when you order it. If you're looking for this, they sell. HTC has a thicker version. Make sure that you order that. But this is kind of intentional about trying to blend comfort with usefulness. And I was at first a little concerned that because I carry in the appendix position that this wouldn't be sturdy enough up front, but because it doubles over like it does, I found that it fits and works fine. It works well. My only real criticism of this belt is on this side. This little loop holder is tacked in, and on this side, the one that comes to hold the tail is not, and so that ends up falling off all the time when I'm putting it on. I do the kind of typical take this guy off at night and plug it in there, and so the fact that this counterpart over here isn't tacked in means that it was just falling off so much that I just threw this little piece in the drawer, and I tuck the tail with a belt loop and just kind of move forward. It's not a big criticism. I'm just I would, if I was going to have that on the other side, I would probably stake it or put a little, probably connect it, but I'm sure that they didn't connect it for people to be able to use in various configurations with different belt loops and all that. So I understand why they didn't do that. So anyway, I've chosen to throw that, file it in the drawer, and only get it out to use on occasion when I don't have a belt loop that will work out. But anyway, I've been really kind of happy with this belt from HTC, and it's pretty budget friendly. Good belts aren't cheap, but it's a good belt. And several months in, you've got your wear and tear, your strings that are kind of fraying. I need to come through and cut those off. But those things happen. It's functioning well, and I wear this belt. We'll get into that. I wear this belt almost every day through the kind of review period, and most of the time still outside of that. I kind of categorize my belts in kind of range belts, everyday belts, and a little bit dressed up or more formal belts, and then I have like formal belts, like where I'm only ankle carrying. It's not a gun belt at all. It's like a real thin dress belt from Polo or whatever, you know. So, so maybe you could categorize that. Maybe you could say range belt, everyday carry belt, formal or semi-formal professional belt, and fashion belt, or super, you know, dressed up, going to a wedding kind of thing belt. Okay. All right, so there are your kind of two. There's that one from Jones Tactical. I've had that for years, and it's a great little belt. It's held up really well. And that from HTC. And as you know, there are lots of belts that fit in that kind of everyday carry, nylon, Cobra belt buckle kind of space. I prefer them to be on that not super tall side, so they fit in lots of belt buckles, in lots of belts. Looking at the range type belt, there are a couple offerings that are similar. This is also a Cobra belt buckle, but the larger kind. It looks like you're going parachuting or whatever. And this one is from 511, but it could be from lots of different manufacturers. Everybody makes a belt like this, and this happens to be in the VTAC Broncos kind of range. Belt. I don't know. I think they call them battle belts, but I don't use it for that purpose. So whatever you want to call it. This is that kind of thing. And this belt is great. But again, if you're going to try to use that for every day, with it being this taller, thicker belt, you're going to have to be pretty specific to which pants you wear. And for some of you that will work, and for others, lifestyle things will demand otherwise. This is probably my longest running gun belt that is still in use. This was a leather belt that I got years ago from 511, and they had these upgraded buckles back then that you could change the buckle type to, and I did that, and I've had several different versions of this exact same belt, and it's a great little belt. It's about the lowest amount of stiffness that you can have, and still run a gun well. It's in that kind of comfort category, but it runs a gun really well. I've been really happy with it. It's in there. They call it the Tactical, or they used to call it the Tactical Series. And again, when I first started carrying, some of you know the Rev is like legit. I say that, but maybe you've noticed things in the church they've gone through a shift in recent years. Hopefully not a shift doctrinally, and I would say that that's true of the circles that I run in. But when it comes to how casual or how dressed up culture is, or church culture is, when it comes to what we wear in the office, in the day-to-day, what ministers are expected to wear, that's dramatically shifted from the time that I began ministry to the time that we're in now. And for the most part, that's true across culture. I live in an urban context, and bankers wear, they're some of the only people that are still suited up 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and even they have way more situations where they're dressed down, way more jeans, way more kind of dress casual kind of stuff, or business casual, whatever you want to call it. Our society's just seen kind of a trend towards more comfortable clothing in lots of environments. If you went out 15, 20 years ago to an environment that was dressed up, say a nightlife environment, and you contrast that with dressed up nightlife environment now, the amount of money that's spent on that clothing is going to be the same, but the type of clothing that it is going to be far different. People are spending $200-300 on a pair of jeans these days, which, by the way, That's crazy. I will not do that. Anyway, so this is a 511 belt that I've had for years. It's a leather belt. It's very comfortable. And the advantage to belts like this are that you can, they have kind of that dual purpose. You can wear this kind of belt in most styles. You can't go super dressy with it, but you can get pretty dressed up on the business casual side, and it still serves adequately to carry a gun. So something like that in the stable is nice to have. In fact, with that being said, I recently was given the opportunity to begin to review a newer company's belt from a company called Core, K-O-R-E, and they are also on the dressier or business casual side in appearance, and so I'm always looking for options that kind of fit that. And you'll notice that this has a tracking. It's a patented feature. This is Core Genuine Reinforced Leather. So it starts here. You see that they use the polymer insert or the plastic insert to do something that's similar to like a zip tie, I guess you would say. And it has this ratcheting feature that the belt buckle ratchets down. Let me see if I can bring that in and let you see what's happening there. So it's really quite inventive, right? So it just kind of goes in, and then you have this feature right here that lets you release it. So it's really quite sturdy, and I don't know, maybe the little boy in me, the kid in me thinks that it's just cool. But then on the back side, you'll notice that it's not like super rigid, but it is rigid enough to carry a gun. And they come with these, it was super long, and you have the ability to just cut it wherever you want. Now I've cut it with far more. I wear typically a 35 or 36, and I cut it all the way up at 40 just because extra tail is not a bad thing, and it's nice to have more. You want to keep your options open, right? Not making provision for the flesh, guys. I'm not planning on getting larger, trying to lose a little weight right now actually, but you just kind of you can always cut more off. So this is kind of cool. It comes with a good piece of leather with this plastic insert that you can see that provides for enough stiffness to carry your polymer guns. I don't think I'd want to carry a full-size steel 1911 with this, but you probably could get away with it. It's just not what it's intended for. But if you're like most folks and carrying a shield to a Glock 43 to a Glock 19 or an M&P or something like this, it'll serve just fine. And it comes with this buckle and with a Trakline feature, and it just comes in here. And you've probably seen something like this before, but you probably haven't played with one that's quite this sturdy. And it just locks down. I mean, it just locks down in place. And I think, again, the little boy in me just says, that's a cool belt. And it's really professional looking, and is able to be pressed into service, I would say, beyond the level of formality that I was able to get away with the 511 belt that was its predecessor. I think I could go all the way to dress belt, formal territory with this one. The only difference between it and my true dress belts is that it's a little bit thicker. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get away with not using the kind of polo style dress belts that I've used over the years, and that I'll be able to completely eradicate those, so that the belt that I'm wearing could be used to wear a gun after I'm out of the wedding, whereas I normally would shift over. And again, guys, remember Rev, so I'm not just going to a wedding, I'm up front officiating the wedding often, and I'm using that as a formal engagement example. There are lots of others. You get the idea. Okay, so anyway, so this example from Core, I'll show you one more that from them. It's the same belt with different coloration and a different style buckle. So yeah, so check out my review of the arms guide that will be coming out soon. And it's just again, a cool belt, attractive. This is on the more casual side with the coloration and the buckle type, but it's the same exact belt in function. So anyway, a couple cool options from a company called Core. Check them out. Let me show you again. So, Core, can you do that? K-O-R-E, there you are. Here is one more casual option from 511. Now, can you carry a gun with this? Yeah, you can. Do I think you should? No, I don't. So there are options out there that are on the casual side that are marketed as kind of like in between, and they could be priced into service. There are all kinds of belts out there, guys. They're just not. They're fine to wear. They're just not quite sufficient for what we're going after. If you're carrying a car inside the waistband, sure. I mean, you could use my polo belt for that. So use common sense, but here's another option. I like this belt, it's super comfortable. I like the way it looks, but there are lots of options that are like this that are probably more fashion oriented than they really are service oriented. So just be aware of that, guys. Just because it's a belt made from a gun belt manufacturer and maybe even marketed as a gun belt doesn't mean that it is the best choice as a gun belt. Guys, this is Rev. As always, I'm encouraging you, don't waste your life. Today we were talking about belts, and let's start connecting that phrase in the end. What am I saying? I'm saying that your life is given to you for a purpose, and you should live it. You should live it fully, and even little details have to do with that. So when you spend your money on something, you're spending your life. It took time. It took your life to earn that money. If money was given to you, or if a gift was given to you, it took someone else's life. It took their time. It took their breath. It took their effort. And so life is a precious resource. It is the most precious human commodity, and we don't give it away lightly. And so when I'm saying don't waste your life, it has lots of application. But I want to encourage you, even when you're looking at simple things like reviews, simple things like, hey, what am I going to spend my money on? Please don't spend money that you don't have, and make sure that you use your resources to benefit your family and to benefit the legacy that God has given you, or to benefit those that are around you. But I'm saying, even when it comes to things like, hey, what belt should I buy? It makes sense that you're taking the time to research what you buy so that you don't waste your life. You don't waste your hard-earned money. You use the resources that are given to you to benefit yourself, and you don't buy something that you have to rebuy in a short period of time. And so it's wise of you to take some time to do this. Make sure that you're using this information to benefit yourself and your household. You guys have a great one. As always, this is Rev saying, don't waste your life.